Currency, Symbols or Substance of Time, Part 2 of 3. The shift from metal to paper can be seen in the progression from silver dollars through silver certificates to Federal Reserve notes. Unbacked paper is cheaper to produce, but easier to illegally or legally counterfeit by thieves and politicians. As the blood of an economic body, paper currency has many benefits over metals. However, the classic case of German inflation after World War I shows how habitual politicians and tenured economists foment a purgatory of political and social chaos. Nothing prepared the German people for Hitler's insanity more than the unstoppable inflation. The fiscal and tax policies of the rich pubes, the Latin origin of Republican, shifts wealth from the basic problem solvers to the money dictators. Like 1920s Germany, an existential meltdown is consuming America and humanity. Federal Reserve notes came into existence in 1913 so as to allow the U.S. money supply to expand to complement and enhance the U.S. economy. Currency is the blood of an economic body. Too little currency yields a deflated, anemic, emaciated economy, as was the description of the 1930s monetary gold policy that was blamed for the Great Depression. Too much currency yields the high blood pressure of inflation. The debate on currency has bedeviled the USA since its beginning. Hamilton wanted to factor the war debt. Jackson fought the National Bank. The Civil War was financed by greenbacks. After the Civil War, Grant faced the dual horrors of inflation and deflation, which ended in a depression. In the decades before the creation of the 1913 Federal Reserve System and the Internal Revenue System, the economy and government was roller coasting because of the roller coasting production of gold and silver. In the late 1800s, a financial battle was waged between the forces of hard money, gold, and soft money, paper. Since a gold policy favored the rich and hurt the small farmer and businessman, a rally cry of the currency battle was that the little fellow was not to be hung on a cross of gold. Has plastic become a form of money? Apparently. Consider the spring 2002 Washington, D.C. snipers. They said they would stop shooting if they got $10 million credited to a card stolen from one of their murder victims. This shows how plastic is a form of money and how fools want unearned money. The snipers' actions frame anew the question, do you want people to have unearned money, whether illegally or legally stolen? Timeism defines currency as the common intermediate product by which producers exchange their time. A currency's relative time value is, in part, the cost of usage. Gold takes a lot more time to use than paper or plastic money. Electronic transfer of funds, ETF, is a form of money. ETF has import for the cost of currency. The cost of usage must be measured in the only consistent variable, time. The time to use ETF is far less than any other form of currency. But like all time-saving advancement, swords, guns, Einstein, ETF lends itself to more rapid, widespread destruction of human time. This time loss is captured in the statement that you can steal with a gun, but not as much as you can steal with a computer, a lawyer, a politician, or, worst of all, an economist. Regarding how economists steal more than any other people, including politicians, consider the godfather of monetarism, which instituted global usury, is a Nobel laureate in economics, Milton Friedman. The International Monetary Fund, which implements global usury, is run by economists. George Soros, who has used insider information to rob the people of England, France, and Asia, is an economist. And two Nobel laureates in economics founded and grounded LTCM, which not only almost collapsed the world financial system and required the first ever Federal Reserve rescue of a private financial business, but is still ripping off the system today using supercomputers. What's a better source of currency than the U.S. Federal Reserve System or the International Monetary Fund? The answer can be found in a process that 1. Recognizes and refines the value of currency in problem-solving time, 2. Has the highest cost efficiency in creation and usage cost like ETF. The currency of the future will involve a funds account into which currency is ETF'd based on the problem solving of the individual, a time clock. The currency of the future will be created through a time clock that records the problem solving worth of each individual measured in life hours. With timeism and life hours, time will be money and money will be time based on problem solving time. Using a currency far cheaper in cost than paper money, a time clock with the right program will create money to parallel the size of the economic body. No more federal open money committee playing games of crime or stupidity in trying to adjust the money supply. More importantly, able-bodied, capable problem solvers are rewarded 100% for the value of their time. A screw-up gets less than nothing. Since currencies are human products, they have costs: creation, usage, and hidden. An important thing to realize about the costs of currency is that the costs have to be measured in human time, not Martian. Should the cost of currency be paid in the currency itself? No. Most economies facing inflationary instability reach a point where the printers of the currency won't accept the currency for their goods and services. Often the old currency is simply reused and overprinted with numeric increases of 1,000 or 1 million. Like currency itself, the real cost of any product is the human time required to produce it. Consider the difference between mining gold that is worth an average day's wages and printing an average day's wages, which takes more human time. The best currency is the one that requires the least time to produce. A time clock for the production of wealth can create currency as it records your time. Voila! One cost for two previous costs. As humanity could eliminate most taxes with timistic taxation, so could humanity have a creative currency system. Rather than consuming time and money, it creates time and money. A timistic payroll currency system does not have a high time cost per hour of work. It would have a negative cost. We would have more money rather than less, as the time clock creates currency matching true, real wealth creation. Besides a production cost, currency has a usage cost. Would you rather buy your $100 groceries with pennies or greenbacks? Pennies require a lot of effort and time compared to a few pieces of paper. But with inflation, the convenience of greenbacks can disappear as one needs a wheelbarrow of money to buy groceries. ETF has the lowest usage cost. An ETF-based payroll system would let you automatically debit expenses from your account. Like all products, currencies have hidden indirect costs. Compared to gold, greenbacks are a cheaper currency to produce. As environment polluters, most currencies require ongoing human time to clean up, a hidden cost. What good is the most efficient, inexpensive currency if you suffer corrupt politicians and tenured economists who legalize and justify the theft of another man's time. Politicians and economists are the biggest hidden cost to the average worker. We know by their moving lips when they are lying, and with each beat of their hearts of darkness they steal the sweat of our brows. A better currency would have no hidden costs. The best one would have a negative cost. It creates money as it is used. For example, touch tone manager. Devaluation of currency is a way that politicians and economists steal money from the average worker when the politicians and economists screw up. Two examples that show the results of bad economics and politics are Mexico, top, and Argentina, bottom. In Argentina, not only was the currency devalued to 1/4, but citizens were denied access to their savings accounts, except for politicians' friends. In 100 years, the land of silver, Argentina, went from the 5th largest world economy to less than 50th. Many people talk about returning to the gold standard. What happens if another huge gold deposit is found? Consider the discovery of the New World, which caused massive inflation and economic collapse in Spain. Historic gold rushes have not been without subsequent economic hardship for all but a few. Even without gold rushes, the chart shows the value of gold jumps 10% in 30 days. Modern gold bubbles have been media hype to benefit a few. Undesired are currencies that can be suddenly devalued in their work-time value. The value of a human life hour does not jump that much. Time is the best four-letter word for currency. The proposed currency, life hours, is a logical consequence in the history of currencies. It can be created at a cost less than any other currency and has no indirect costs. Only political resolve grounded in the will of an informed, active electorate can keep the life hour current in value. The more efficient a currency is, then the easier it is for politicians to steal money. A principle of timeism is that you can have capitalism that is no better than your democracy. Currency devaluation to steal from the little fella is an example of how despots steal. As problem-solving systems for human productivity, democracy is the ultimate and capitalism is the penultimate. Democracy per diem begets capitalism per capita. Public officials and private businessmen can offer a whole array of currencies or monies which the public can use or reject. This array of monies is why the Federal Reserve Open Money Market Monkey Committee has a multitude of M's for different money supplies. Throughout American history from 1776, the official currency has been rejected, in part or whole, by the U.S. population. Continental dollars, Civil War greenbacks, and Confederate dollars. Thanks to habitual politicians and tenured economists, the dollar is dying as a public and private problem-solving tool. Look at the dying value of the dollars you put into Social Security, stocks, and taxes. What problem-solving time do you have to show for your pudding? Less and less.